Hello there and welcome back. My name is Elena.
And I am Fotios, and this is the Game Court.
And today we're both wearing our Sunday clothes. It's a festive day because today we're reviewing a game that we have waited 2 years for.
The game is Unconscious Mind, and it's a game that is designed by Yoma, Zax, Laskas, and Jonny Pac, and is published by Fantasia Games.
In Unconscious Mind, you are taking the role of a psychologist, psychoanalyst, and you are part of the Freud gang. If you wish, you're part of a gang, you're a psychoanalyst, you analyze dreams, and you try to heal your patients by analyzing their dreams and their nightmares.
To do so, you're using your insights that have different qualities and different strengths, which you spend to analyze the manifest dreams and then later on the latent dreams to lead your clients to catharsis and eventually cure them.
Also, apart from healing patients, you have meetings every Wednesday with your colleagues and Freud including, the boss, where you discuss all your patients and discuss all the cases. Also, you do travel in town as well to different...
Vienna.
In Vienna, to different locations like theatres, cafes and a lot.
On your turn, you may take one of three actions. You can either state an idea on the Wednesday's meetings table, or you can recall your ideas and take basically a rest action, or you can treat your clients.
And that's kind of basically all the three main actions that you can take, and then you have a myriad of things to do throughout one single action.
Exactly.
I think it's fair to mention that this game is pretty heavy, and it's pretty rule heavy and pretty full of different mechanics that you have to pay a certain attention to.
There is not a predetermined number of rounds in the game. We play the game and we take turns one after the other until Freud's reputation reaches 10, basically, and Freud's reputation increases as you increase your own reputation as well. Usually in your turn, you will state ideas in the Wednesday table, and some of these ideas will allow you to activate different actions, and this is basically our replacement element of the game. Exactly. So you have your speech balloons. You start with 3 of these, but you may unlock up to another 3, and you place them in different parts to talk about different ideas. And this is basically you getting some notebooks, or you getting some research ideas, which you can use later on to make some publications, or you can move Freud or yourself around Vienna and get some actions. Or you can generate or manipulate some insights.
Which, can we just mention, insights are just used as resources.
Resources, exactly. There are basically cubes in a circular dial that you can, as you go to outer circles, it becomes a stronger quality insight. And there are 3 sections, like 3 pizza pieces, if you wish.
Pizza
pieces, yes. So there are 3 different qualities. So basically you have 3 times 3 strengths, 3 qualities times 3 strengths, you have 9 different insights.
Another cool thing that you could do in the game is you can wander about in Vienna in town, and you can stop in one of the myriad buildings that are there.
6.
Myriad 6, which is either a coffee shop, a theatre, and I don't know, a million other things.
Opera, art gallery, I remember.
We go to art galleries all the time,
but
all the time.
There's a library as well.
There's a library, wow. Anyhow, you can choose where you go, given the amount of spaces you have to move, and how many pieces, and when I say pieces, I mean people, are in that location already. That will determine the strength of your action, which can be up to 5, or you can rebut that and use the icons you have already collected that are linked to that location, and you can use that as the strength of your action. And I think the actions themselves are fairly simple.
Very minor, yes.
Either you take, I think there's 3 different colors, 4 different colors?
3 different colors.
3 different colors. And it depends on the color that you have associated with the building itself. So let's say opera, it's associated with one of the insights onto your board.
Exactly.
So you can get that type of insight, aka resource, or you can swap like for like, or something like that.
Apart from the insights themselves, 2 other resources that are useful in the game are the bright idea tokens, which you can replace your own speech balloons ideas when you go to talk about something, but you can also spend them if you want to make the locations actions even more powerful, activating more times, that is.
Clever, yes.
Yes, but you also
Very
have the,
bright.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have the coffee, which is very useful because when they're meeting in the night, they need a lot of caffeine. Yes, a lot of cigars and caffeine they were consuming back there in the ages.
They've not put cigars in there, but they have put coffee.
They have cigars. The miniature of Freud has a cigar.
Has a cigar, doesn't
yes,
he?
exactly.
He's the only one that smokes.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But again, you use coffee in many different ways to manipulate stuff during the game. And the third type of action that you do is the recall action. You are run out of ideas tokens.
And you're tired.
And
you
you're
have no
tired,
caffeine,
exactly. So
no
you
cigar.
So you take all your ideas tokens that you have placed in the main board, in the table basically. You take them back and you get some coffee based on how many different locations, how many different ideas you have activated.
All about the coffee.
All about coffee. And then you go back to the map and you may get some bonuses from either the location that you or Freud is or the district that you or Freud is.
And it's a very cool thing, but I couldn't remember exactly where it was. There's a little ink pot onto your personal board, and which area does that move into?
So when you state an idea, when you place an idea token out.
Oh, so when you're at the table, aren't
yes,
you?
Correct,
you're at the table with everybody and you're talking about stuff. So to kind of the worker placement area of it. Afterwards, on the sides of the table, there are a number of ink pots, and it depends on where you go. The lower you go, the more ink pots you get, and then you can move. It's more like a rondelle, if you wish. You can move your ink pot to get some benefits. The three of the ink pot rows, lines,
rows, yeah,
rows.
Whatever, yes.
You populate them with some tiles, and you can do some conversions at that point, or you can get some like for likes, so some extra resources. And I think that's really cool.
And as you complete a circulation, you also unlock even more idea tokens that you have. So every circulation you unlock another idea token.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. You may activate this way the reputation track, which you get where you get a benefit from where the Freud is and from where you are. Some points, some coffee, some other actions.
Coffee. It's all about the coffee.
Exactly.
Now talking about theme and art, because that is
your specialty.
My cup of tea.
Yes. What do you think about? Yes, every time I start explaining a game, I'm like, yes, this is a work placement game. We do this,
and
this,
then
and
you
that.
Go there and you do this.
Wait a minute. What is the game about?
I need to know what I'm doing, right? Am I a postman delivering some post? Am I a psychoanalyst doing things? Do I create glass in a factory? What do I do?
So
what do I do?
So does this game make sense to you from a mathematic point of view?
It does make sense. The theme is, I think the reason why we expected this game so much is because the theme is incredibly interesting. Can I just say none of us actually works within the field and none of us has much of an idea regarding this theme.
Psychoanalysis of dreams and all of this, yes.
But doesn't it sound amazing? Doesn't it sound absolutely, like all of us dream, well, most of us. I think there's some people that don't have dreams. That's awful, isn't it? Not having dreams. Anyhow, the theme, I think, is absolutely incredible. And again, themes are stuff like, subjective things and whatever you prefer and you like. But I think the theme is super nice. And the way they've implemented it...
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. It's not just like, you have a dream and then you have the client that comes with dreams and a dream comes in layers. And on top of that layered dream, you have a grief. There's so many layers to it and it's so amazingly implemented. They've put so much thought in this theme and it's so well implemented. The way, you as a psychoanalyst, you go and you talk to your colleagues and you have different places that you actually meet and exchange ideas. And from there, you become a better psychoanalyst, you get more insight and stuff like that. So amazing.
Even simple stuff that you collect, like tags of different locations, represent the influence you have with that location, for instance. I think this is a very, very heavy game, but I think the theme drives the game in a good way.
I think so. I think it's one of those things where I don't necessarily want to say, oh, I need a purple and a red. I will say, oh, I need an insight. Or I would be like, oh, I don't want to, I'm going to say, I heal this patient or I bring them to catharsis. So I'm going to use these kind of words because it kind of, the theme drives me to say that because it makes sense when I do it. It's really nice. Really, really nice.
Now, moving to art, this game is illustrated by two wonderful artists. One is Andrew Bosley and the other one is Vincent Dutrait. So, in fact, even the cover is designed by half and half. So you can see here it's a different art style at the bottom, a different art style, a bit more illusion on the top, and so on and so forth. And the game itself depicts artistic elements from both designers. Like the table is one artist, the dream card is another artist. Is fantastic, is superb, is without a doubt right now is the most beautiful game that we own in our collection.
By far, I'd
Yes.
say, by far. I think they've, like, these two artists, they've gone a bit wild with the imagination, and the fact that they've given each other enough space rather than just combine the ideas. Whether they've combined some stuff, maybe, I'm not an artist, but you can see clearly which art is which and which art is the other, and they kept them separate most of the times from what I see. And it looks so beautiful because dreams are not
fantastic.
always the same, are they? Some are, you know, harsher, some are have more colors, some are dreamy and fluffy, and some are not. And it's so beautiful. They've put a lot of thought, and
It's
there are
fantastic.
so many little details within the game that matter so much. I wish I could show you all the art in this game and all the dreams, and they look so realistic. Like,
So fantastic.
before we actually received the game, we were looking through pictures, and you know, they've put some of the pictures out there, and you could see what dreams look like and nightmares and stuff like that. And honest to God, I'm like, I'm 100% sure I've had this dream before or this nightmare before of some sort. I'm like, it looks exactly like something I've had in the past, you know?
This one with the long legs, right?
Oh my goodness, the long-legged thing. Oh my goodness, it's awful. Like, why'd you put that in a card? Don't bring memories back.
Yeah.
That just the idea, and it's like there are so many little elements. I don't even know what to think of. First, there are the grief cards that they've decided to make, and you know, they could have just put some cubes at the bottom and then, you know, decide to take those cubes off to kind of represent catharsis, right?
But instead of that,
What did they do?
transparent cards
Like
on top of the clients.
transparent, isn't it? Like a
Yes.
transparent card
Yes,
of plastic
exactly.
of some sort, and then they've put there the hearts that you need to heal patients, the grief itself, and then they have like different kind of designs on top of these like plastic, more like canvas. It looks a bit like canvas, where you have the transparent layer that you put on top, kind of like that kind of idea, but it just makes it so distorted. Some people have like weird dreams with like ginormous elephants and stuff like that, or some people have like super distorted things. It is such
It's
an absolute
very-
incredible production.
Sticking-
The design and art.
Art, yeah. Sticking on the art aspect, I would like to mention two quick things. One is iconography. For a heavy game like this, I think iconography is pretty clear.
Spot on, isn't it?
Like, after you learn how the game is played, I don't think there are enough times that you need to refer back to the rulebook. Maybe sometimes when you need to see some end of game scoring conditions and stuff like that. But overall, it's kind of pretty clear. And the other thing, the box, the Kickstarter box, comes with 3, I think, art prints as well.
Isn't that
Which
amazing?
we can frame and you put on your wall because they are super pretty.
We're definitely going to
Exactly,
frame them because
exactly.
they're so pretty.
Moving to production now. Whew, production.
Right.
Right. Now, it is true that, you know, nowadays games, especially Kickstarter games, are super duper produced, and this is no exception. There are many elements.
Foil on top. It has holofoil
Yeah,
on
it
top
has
of the
holofoil,
box.
yeah. There are so many elements in this box that are super deluxeified, and of course we have the collector's edition with the miniatures and the playmats and the fancy ink pots with a cork on top.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
but everything in the game is super deluxe, from the cards, from the quality of the boards, from again iconography.
insert,
The
yeah.
insert is very good. You get playmats inside. You get these inside tokens with a glitter.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're transparent, but they have some
Yes,
glitter in it.
exactly.
And then you have your own transparent little tokens, like circles, I'd say. And they come transparent, but in your own color, and they have glitter in them. Like, you know, they've put a lot of thought into all of this. A lot of it.
Production is outstanding, without the cost being that massive.
That's why I was quite impressed, though. Like, how do these, like Fantasia Games, this is a second game we
Second
played
game
from
of
them.
Fantasia.
And second game of them. And the production is just like, how do you sell it at this price? It makes no sense. It's either like you make no profit or you make barely any profit, or everybody else is ripping us off.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not an inexpensive game. It's still, I think, £120 for the whole thing, for the ID Elite Edition, which I'm going to discuss in a second. But yes, it's not as expensive as, let's say, other companies are going out these days.
Can I just ask
Yeah.
you, Was it £120 with all the euros with all the expansions?
Yes.
Nice.
And I think another 10 for the maybe transport, like the shipping. But one cool thing they did, Fantasia, in this case, they had offered this ID lit or light, if you wish, version that when the expansions came, it didn't came a box and then 5 more boxes of the expansions. Everything was already there, so you pay less shipping for that, you pay a little bit less for the overall pledge, and you also are saving a bit of the environment because the shipping.
A million boxes that you throw away anyway.
Exactly. Go back to production though. I think it's an outstanding production. It's very good, very beautiful to the eye.
They have. I don't think we've spoken about the expansions at all, and most of them are modular, aren't they?
Yeah, there is one basic expansion, which is the Nightmares expansions, which comes with extra dreams and the grief cards with the animals, the metamorphosis grief cards, and a bit special dial that we get also some madness and stuff like that.
Isn't that super
Yes,
duper?
yeah. But then you have all the modules, right?
And within the Madness expansion, they've created all these little discs that have they have like a swirling effect a little bit, and they're so pretty, and they do like a different kind of effect. They have a different kind of effect. You can get a lot of madness that gives you a lot of benefits, but then you can lose a lot of points because you're absolutely crazy.
Exactly.
So you have to find a balance in between this. It's the production itself is extraordinary. They have a pet expansion as well that gives you little pets. They're all asleep next to you there. It's so cute.
2 cats, 2 dogs.
Isn't that cute? Although my color is a dog, and I really like dogs, but I would have preferred a cat, but it's fine. We have 2 real ones.
You have other expansions and modules as well. You have the Journalist, you have the Gramophone, you have the Illusion cards. And talking about Illusion cards, shall we say that our edition from Kickstarter comes with a pack of also holofoil dream cards.
Isn't that amazing?
So you can replace the standard cards in the game with the holofoil cards, which look superb.
Don't they?
Look super
Don't
nice.
they just like they've and everything in the production itself there's so much color on all the cards. They have colored back and front, holofoil and everything. It's just impressive how they managed to put all this amazingness at such low price.
Rulebook wise, it's a fantastic rulebook. It's very clear, very well illustrated, and very well structured with plenty of examples. It makes the game teach and the game understanding very, very easy. Now, one thing I don't like, of course, is that you don't have one rulebook, you have 5 of them because you have all the modules and the expansions and everything. But apart from that, I think the rulebook is very, very well done. And the gameplay, like the length of the game, yes, very important. Again, you have to expect a hefty game here. Even after a couple of plays, still you have to expect something along the lines of maybe 2 hours plus, even in the lowest player count.
Even with not all the expansions and whatnot.
Exactly.
And it still takes a long, long time, doesn't it?
The second time I played it with 2 new players, at 3 players, it was about, I think, 3 hours total. I think the second time we played it at 2 players was about close to 2 hours, I would say. But yeah.
But still.
Still.
Yays and nays.
Of course.
I can start.
Yes, go for it.
My yay is only going to be a yay. I think this is the bestest produced, bestest looking game I have seen. And it's not just like best produced, best looking game. It's just the details that they've put in this game. I am a bit lost for words. It is absolutely incredibly beautiful. And I think the last time I said something like this about a game was about Darwin's Journey, and this like trumps it by an armful.
I think for me, when it comes to production, I think this is on the levels even higher though of Distilled and Septima. Distilled is from Publishing Games and Septima is from Mindclass Games. There are 2 games that we're very excited, we're very happy to open and see and explore, but they didn't engage us from a gameplay perspective.
From a mechanics perspective,
whereas this one is like beautiful, but also fantastic to play. Yeah, my first idea, I guess, is that I love this game. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's a fantastic game. It's engaging. It makes sense. It's heavy. It's very heavy, but
that's what I wanted to say as well. Like we've not managed to find a super heavy game like this that we actually felt very engaged into and actually enjoyed very much for quite a while now.
Exactly. Our first game was about 3 hours. We spent the whole morning, but we didn't even feel it, I would say, because we're enjoying what we're doing.
Any more yays, sir?
Everything for me is a yay about
That's
this game.
what I'm saying. I'm like, what do I choose?
So if I say one nay, possibly, is that it is lengthy. That's all. But yeah, again, it's engaging, so
Yeah.
it's not really an A.
So if you do want a heavy game, yeah.
Exactly, everything is a yay for this game. Do you agree with that?
I do agree
Yeah.
to one point.
Yes.
One single thing. One single thing. I cannot fault this game for anything at all, apart from they do have a player rate. But I think the player rate, because this is such a, and I don't want to say, oh my goodness, the heaviest game we've ever played, but you don't want to miss like the nitty-gritty steps, right? And I think if they had a bit of a more, what would I call it?
What do you mean?
More like descriptive, I'd say.
Yeah, descriptive.
Turn or like what you do in a turn would help tremendously, because you don't want to be spending 3 hours guessing what you're doing or going back 3 rounds. This just doesn't make much sense.
So when you set ideas, what do you do? When you recall ideas, what do you do? Like step by step. A very small card would do it.
It wouldn't, like, you managed to find something online that was fan made.
Exactly.
And it was, that's exactly like, you don't even need like, I need to do 1 before I do 2, before I do 3, but you need to do this, bam, 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 super quick. But none of that was there, which was very odd. Like, you'd expect, especially like the amount of details they've put in everything, that they would have a bit of space for that too, but for whatever reason it was not there.
But apart from that, very minor stuff.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game overall. And I think it's time for us to go to game recommendations, to other game recommendations.
Wow, I need to think of something.
Yeah, I have one suggestion. Oh, can I start directly?
Go ahead.
All right. My other game recommendation would be Weather Machine here. To me, that's another heavy title, probably even heavier than Unconscious Mind, that at least to me makes sense from a thematic perspective, from an integration perspective, and also Weather Machine, in my eye, is extremely beautiful as well. Now, I think it was possibly one of my top 3 beautiful games in the collection, but now this is for sure number 1 in my collection when it comes to presentation and art and everything. But Weather Machine is my game recommendation, yes.
My goodness, I think I wanted to say the same thing.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow, really?
Yes, I think it's because it's very, very heavy, and as much as I don't like a list, in that game is very, very much needed, as it is in this game. You need a bit of a structured approach to these kind of things. Unless you play it very, very often, it's quite hard. But I think I would probably say the same thing.
And there are a couple of mechanical elements that also are similar, like worker placement. And also, as you move around in the Weather Machine, if you go somewhere that somebody else is, then you do the action differently. Whereas here you have the map, and if you go somewhere that somebody with the map is, then your action is stronger.
Right.
So this play interaction with where other players are, it's kind of similar in my opinion. Yes.
Plus you publish papers in both games.
Exactly, indeed.
Righty, that was it for today.
That was our review, our lengthy review of Unconscious Mind.
I hope you enjoyed it and you didn't fall asleep whilst we were talking.
Because if you did fall asleep and you have any dreams, you have now to analyze them.
Or you would have nightmares.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching.
And see you later.
Bye-bye.